My son was suffering severe depression, very suicidal, didn't know where else to go. And I was at the end of my tether with him. I didn't know from day to day whether he was going to be alive when I got up that day. LRN was recommended to me after the NHS virtually wiped their hands clean of my son. And my name was put forward, and I remember getting the phone call from Ginny. I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, what day it was, and it's changed our lives. LRSN was the shining light for me. I don't know what I would have done without Ginny. She has been such a support to me and to him, and the whole family, really. She's always been there, and I know she's always been there, and I felt confident in that. When somebody is suffering from depression, it's such a ripple effect. It doesn't only affect that person, it affects their loved ones. Yeah. And I can see now that that was what was happening to us as a family. I don't know where we'd be without them. I honestly do not know where we'd be without them. I honestly don't think that my son would be alive. I don't know if my marriage would have held together. And I just have so much to be grateful to them for. The LRSN has helped him so much. They've been what he needs and all he needs, and what I need and all I need as well.
My name is Richard Q. Well, going back before Christmas, November time, I was in a relationship, and the lady decided to trade me in for an upmarket model, and that really hit me good and proper. And everything just went to pieces. I was poorly with high blood pressure over Christmas, and that's how it all started, really. Well, I've gone down the channels of the NHS, but I'm still waiting. And she wrote the number down, and so I went home, and just after Christmas I rang the number, and I got a very nice lady, and she talked to me, and the following morning another lady rang me called Alison, and that's how I got involved with LSRN. There has been a change in my life since it all kicked off. When it all kicked off, I wanted to take a long walk off a short pier, but the problem is there's no short piers left. But gradually over a period of time, I've moved on, and by talking to Alison, I've come to terms with what's happened to me. I went to a steam rally, and the lady had been with me previously to the rallies, and that was really hard for me to attend that rally, steam rally, but I got through it, and it knocked me back a little bit, and by speaking to Alison again, she picked me up and put me back on my wheels again. And there it is. Thank you. I will say that life is like a game of snakes and ladders, and I come to a period in my life where there was a lot of snakes and not many ladders to climb. But by talking to Alison, she put the ladders back in for me. So I've managed to scramble back up onto a level. And I should say now instead of being 0, I'm about 6 to 7 up the ladder, so that's good. After all my problems, do not be frightened to ring up LRSN, because they're there to help you, and all it needs is for you to pick up that phone and ring them, and I can guarantee within a few hours somebody will be talking to you and helping you, and it's just the job of picking that phone up. Do not sit there in your stew and wait, just pick up that phone and ring.
heard about LRSN years and years ago when they first got their Massey Ferguson tractor, stick it up, and it was at the shows. But I really came into touch with it March the 18th last year, this year, when unfortunately my best mate took his own life. And all I can say is I lived on the phone to Gilly at LRSN, and it just never really, I think it was like the best thing I ever discovered was speaking to you guys even in more detail. It was never a phone call I was going to expect to get from work, and it just took everybody by surprise because he was out with people on the Saturday having beers, completely normal, just his normal self, and yeah, clearly something was there that he felt he couldn't talk to us or yourselves about. So I originally just rang the LRSN number probably 2 hours after finding out what had happened on the day. And it was more for the young farmers side of things as well. I spoke to somebody there and was like, can we have some support on this our next meeting to discuss it? And they have helped us through every step of the way through young farmers. Obviously Alec worked on the farm where Dad runs, so I sort of lost him in 3 ways of young farmers, work and a friend. And the support they gave on the farm was just unbelievable. Dad's got some stubborn blokes that don't really want to say a lot to anybody, but it helped them to open up about not only what happened, but any other problems, and it made the whole thing a much nicer process to cope with, having LRSN by our side. In this situation, probably still bottling it up inside, telling myself it's not real and it's not happened, probably not being able to cope as well. But like I say, just being able to speak to somebody and know it's not going to go in. I think a lot of people worry that if you speak to somebody like LRSN who speak to all the farmers, it might come out and somebody will hear down the grapevine, or you might get judged for speaking to a mental health nurse. But it really has been the best thing I did, and I think if I didn't do it, I'd still be bottling it up inside and probably not be the same person. I mean, the whole message is getting spread around. There's always, every time I go on Facebook now, there's an LRSN post that's being shared by somebody in young farmers. And I just think it's opened people's eyes to think it's okay not to be okay, and you can talk. And talking is probably the best thing that I ever did to yourselves back in March. It just helped me cope with it so much better, and it helped me, helped my dad, it's helped my girlfriend. It's just the amount of I've lost count the amount of people that it's helped, and I just think it's good that it's helped, but it should have been. It's more the reason of what happened back in March is why people have spoken up, but I'm glad that they are speaking up. So I just never want in my lifetime, I never want to receive a phone call like that or do anything like I did again. So it will help.
He was a terrific guy. You don't get many young lads like that. Alec wasn't your stereotypical young farmery type tractor driver. Alec's tractor was not the tidiest. He didn't go around for a lot of polish, but what Alec did, he just loved, he cared for the soil. He was the soil. He just wanted to farm. He wanted to do the best job. His attention to detail was fantastic. He wasn't like anybody I've ever come across in my 40 years of farming. He just was something different. He was just something about the lad. He would talk to anybody. You could put him in front of anybody, from a lord and a lady to a lorry driver. He just talked to everybody on the same level. He was a fantastic guy. Such a tragic loss to Lincolnshire agriculture.